Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Absolutely freezing here. First video of the year, 2026. I just got back from Mexico where it's 28 degrees. It's minus 3 degrees in this workshop today. But hey, work must go on. So I'm doing a bit of a workshop day for you today. I've got a bike in the stand here. It's been in an accident and needs a new derailleur hanger, at least. This wheel's got issues with its freehub. We'll have a look at that. Customer's taken this Di2 derailleur to pieces and can't get it back together. So we're going to put that back together, hopefully. Got another one coming in as well with a Di2 cable that's pulled out somewhere in the frame. Not here yet, but we'll get to that later. So let's get cracking with these. So first up, we're looking at this wheel. It's from a fairly low-end GT. Apparently it's slipping forward under load. It was actually locked up when it came in, but it's freewheeling backwards now. There's also a massive amount of play in it as well, so I think this is probably a goner. But we'll get this cassette off and see what's going on inside. See if it's a replaceable freehub body or not. It's probably not, because like I say, it's a pretty low-end, no-name hub, so it might need a new wheel. So let's get this off and have a look. A new wheel might seem excessive, but by the time you take into labour and replacement spokes, then it's cheaper to buy a new wheel, unfortunately. For something of this quality, it's just far cheaper to buy a new wheel. Let's get this off, see what's going on. So the customer bought a new cassette thinking it came with a freehub body. Not so lucky, unfortunately, so it doesn't need a cassette. It needs something far more serious than that. I mean, the cones are a little bit on the loose side, which would be not ideal, but I don't think it's going to get rid of that much play. So what I'm going to do is take the rotor off, take this axle out altogether, see if this freehub body is removable, see if the pulls are visible inside. They might be part inside the freehub body, and it gets a bit more challenging. And again, cost effective wise, probably not worth spending 3 hours on a wheel. Like I say, if it's your own bike and you've got all day, you might want to look at it slightly differently, but in a busy workshop, time is money, as they say. And you don't have 3 hours to spend messing around trying to save the customer 50p. Doesn't work like that. We're not a charity, unfortunately. I did say I'd have a quick look, see if it's fixable, but I suspect it's not going to be, unfortunately. 4mm instead of the usual T25, as you do. And try not to breathe, because all you're seeing is frost from my workshop. Anyway, back from Mexico, where it was very nice. 28 degrees, sunshine every day. Instead of the UK, I think it's -4, -5 today. Yeah, so it's not ideal. It's good to have a break. Yeah. Right, let's get this out and see what's going on. So it's a super basic wheel, this is. Right. What I need to do now is work out if this freehub body comes off. So there's normally a hex down here, sort of either 10, 11, 12, 13. They're all different sizes, different directions, some from the back, some from the front. Let's have a go. Another 10. Might be an 11. Let's see if this will come out. Might need a breaker bar on it. There you go. Alright, so that's off. I suspected all the pulls are internal to the freehub body. That's the bolt itself, but the actual piece here, Jesus. There's a huge amount of play in there. So I don't want to get too involved because it's almost certainly not going to be repairable, and I almost certainly can't get a spare part because it's a no-name sort of wheel. There may be one that looks very, very similar. I might have one, I'll check, but it's unlikely. So you need to get this seal out first if possible. Yeah, it's not coming out, it's just destroying it. Yeah, I suspected that's just totally knackered. I can't get this out, it's just collapsing itself. Normally they pop out quite easily, the plastic. Yeah, this is not playing ball. Even if you can, look at the state of that. So I'm going to see if I've got one. I do have a box of spare freehub bodies. They're the least standard thing you can buy, I think. Every single manufacturer's got their own version of it. Yeah, but I'll see what I've got. So I bought this box of freehub bodies off eBay once, thinking it might be useful as spares. There's about 20 different ones in here. And sod's law, they never fit. This is what we're looking for, one with the splines on here externally. So obviously not this type. We certainly don't want one with external pulls like this. So it narrows it down pretty quickly. So that might fit. It won't fit because the bolt's different. Yeah. So it's the only one basically that's half similar. Might actually fit. This one might actually work. Let me just try it on the wheel. Oh, it's the same size. Oh, actually might work quite nicely. Okay. It might be a lucky day. Let's tighten this down and put it back together, see what it looks like. So it's tight and it's still spinning. Just going to drop this cassette back on just to see if it feels like it's going to actually freewheel. I think that's going to work absolutely fine. If that was very, very tight and there's a lot of resistance, I'd have my suspicions, but yeah, it's going to be fine. So I'm just going to clean this up, put some grease in, put the axle back in, get back to the customer and see how it gets on. If it's a problem, I don't have the bike here to test it with, unfortunately, but if it is a problem, obviously you can just pop it back and we'll get a wheel ordered, but this is going to cost him very little indeed. It's just out of a box of spares, so. Just make sure this drive side one is tight because you don't have access to this once it's back in the freehub. You can't get to that one, so just make sure that's tight. Drop some fresh grease in it and reassemble it. I think my grease is almost frozen. It's so cold. Clean them up, these are okay. These bearings from the drive side are completely different. You can see they've been running on that worn out race. So I'll change these over for some fresh bearings. And just nip that up against there. First of all, try it if there's any play in it. It feels really good actually, that's a good guess. And you're happy with that, just fully tighten it. Like that. Call it a seal, push this back on. What's that? So I'm just replacing those stupid 4mm bolts with proper Torx bolts. These are pre-impregnated. Impregnated. These come with Loctite on them. And just drop the quick release through, and that's that one done. Alright, so that's all back together. I'm pretty sure that's going to work just fine for the guy. Like I say, if he tries it and there's issues, we'll have to go down the new wheel route, unfortunately, but I'm pretty sure that's going to work fine. Alright, what's next? Next up, we've got this 105 Di2 derailleur. So the customer's fitted this oversized pulley wheel system. This is a Riot one from AliExpress. I think these are about £50–60. Actually look pretty good. I'll drop a link below if anyone's interested. But what he's done, he's managed to fit this, but he's read the instructions from Ceramic Speed website and he's misread them slightly. Part of it says take a screw out so you can unwind the cage. It's obviously a different derailleur, but the screw it was talking about was this one here. So I think he's missed that. The only screw he could find was this tiny little one that goes through here, which holds this spring in here. So that's not really designed to come out. So he struggled to put that back in. So in theory, it should just drop back in pretty easily, really. Just goes on here with a little spacer there. Spring drops on there, then the screw holds it together. He also unwound this a little bit as well. So if we can get that back in, we just need to push that slightly back in. It's just a tiny little Allen key. So that's all we need to do on this one. So it should take 2 minutes. Famous last words. Like I say, they're not really designed to be taken apart on this piece. They can be, obviously, because there's a screw. But some of the other ones have got security screws on here you would need to drill out if you actually wanted to take this screw out. So it kind of tells you it's not supposed to come out. So a bit fiddly. Not got any warmer in here yet either, by the way. Just need to try and line this up basically in there. Out. Right, so that's going to basically go through there like that. Just one bush and the spring, and then that screw needs to go back in there. We're just going to put some Loctite in this screw because it shouldn't be coming out, that's for sure. I don't know if these are ceramic bearing or not, like the genuine Ceramic Speed ones, but they look the part. Can't say I'm convinced of their benefits, to be honest, but they do look good. Alright, let's see if I can get this screw in there, which is the easy bit, and then the difficult bit is getting the spring tension back on. That should go in there quite easily. Screw that in. Right, that's in. It's only a tiny little screw, so don't need to go crazy with the tightness. That's more than tight enough on there. And the difficult bit is going to be getting this spring around here. So this spring here, I need to live behind this little tab here. So it's just going to be a case of overcoming that spring pressure there until you can get it around there. And then it should be back together. And then, like I say, we'll just wind that screw back in there. If you've taken this off and you've taken this out, then you're going to need to do a lot more science behind it because you need to reset the home position of the Di2 motor and all sorts. There's a couple of videos out there that I've seen. I'll put a link below again. But it's way more involved than I'd ever want to get in a Di2 derailleur. This is basically just a case of putting that back in and clipping the spring on. So yeah, let's fight this spring. I've been looking at the prices. 105 12-speed Di2 derailleur. It's gone significantly cheaper than what I expected, actually. They're about £130, £140 now, so I think they're on sale, allegedly, but still a lot cheaper than I thought. Right, this could be a challenge. There you go. Well, that's just going to ping up there now and hopefully not kill me at the same time. Don't like springs. Oh, so close. Got you. Right. That is back together. What I need to do now is going to connect the Di2 computer to this. I don't have the rest of the bike. I've literally just got the derailleur. So I should be able to just connect eTube into there and just operate this through its range of motion and make sure that's okay. I'm also just going to screw this back in before I forget. I'm just going to drop a Loctite to this as well for when it actually goes back to where it should be. Tiny little thing. He said it was about halfway. I'm guessing this is basically to adjust the spring tension on this cage, which is quite a good feature actually. Don't see it on many of them. Right, I'm calling that halfway now. So wipe that Loctite off there. Like I said, that's back together now, so I'll just get the laptop, plug that in, and we should be able to test just one component on itself and make sure it goes through the range of motion. We shouldn't have affected the limits positions, because obviously this piece here has not been to pieces. The motor in there controls all that. So it's literally just a case of putting that back in there. So shouldn't be any issues, but certainly looks good. It's spinning pretty nicely there. So yeah, AliExpress. Like I say, I'll drop a link below if anyone's interested. I've never tried them. Can't personally recommend them. But if you want the look at a tenth of the price, then this could be the way to go. You will need a longer chain though when you put this on, that's for sure. Right, let's grab the laptop. Just connecting to eTube now. So to connect to that, you need this PTE02 adapter, and that will just connect to an individual unit. You can't use your phone to do this as far as I'm aware. So that's found the derailleur there. It's also got a firmware update, so let's just do that first. This firmware update is for the Bluetooth updates, so it stops people hacking your rear derailleur, basically. You may have read it in the cycling press last year where people found a way to hack into Di2 derailleurs so you could change gears on someone else's bike. It does sound funny, but if it's happening in a race and you're in a sprint and someone changes your gear, it could be extremely dangerous. So this is a Bluetooth update to stop people doing that, basically. Crazy what people want to hack into. So with that updated now, I just want to check the position of the derailleur, basically. So I'm going to maintenance. Select the rear shifting unit itself, and then you can basically start this as a test, and it'll allow me just to press these buttons here and shift it through its range. So let's just simulate that. That's basically in first gear, the biggest sprocket, as it says there, and then we just shift that there, and you'll see the derailleur shifting. Don't need to hold it there, it'll be easy to hold it there. So that's in 12th. Working fine. Good. And if you needed to actually adjust the gears, again, you can do this on your phone, but there's some fine tuning adjustment here. Basically, that moves that. I think it's 0.25 of a millimetre if your indexing wasn't quite right. So you can basically, the same as a barrel adjuster on a normal derailleur, you do it electronically on here. So that is basically on. Let's put it back in 12th because that's how it's going to drop back onto the bike, and then disconnect it. Anyway, that's all I wanted to do for that, disconnect that. So it's back together. We've tested its range of motion. All good, so that'll go back to the customer now. I don't know if he's played with these limit screws, he may have, but obviously without a bike, I can't do anything with those. But I think he's actually pretty clued up on what he's doing in here, so all he asked me to do was get that bit back on, and that's done now, so that'll go back to him. Right, what's next? So next up, they got this Argon 18 TT bike. Customer basically tried to adjust the saddle, pulled it out, and it's got the world's shortest Di2 cable on there. This is absolutely tiny. So there's a little junction box, lives inside the frame, right about down here. And that cable was only just long enough in its position there, so as soon as you actually extend that, it's basically unplugged it from the junction box. So to plug it back in is nigh on impossible. I'm not entirely sure how they managed to assemble the bike like that. I'm guessing without the bottom bracket. So the plan of action for this is to remove the cranks, remove the press fit bottom bracket. I'm going to fit a longer cable to this, drop that through the frame, get the junction box out there, connect it all back in, reassemble that, put the cranks and bottom bracket in, then he'll have enough cable there to do what he wants with the seat tube. If he ever needs to take it out for travel, etc., he won't be facing this problem again. But yeah, so you can see the junction box. I'll just show you an endoscope clip there, but it's way down there, so it's literally, I don't know how they've done it, and there's no slack in it. You can get it up to about here. Obviously to plug that in, you've got no chance. So let's get this bottom bracket out. Right, just undo these evenly, you know the score. Flip your little safety clip up and unscrew your preload. Like that. Crank should just pull straight off now. Like that. Don't forget this little bit. So that's the crank out. Just got to pull this bottom bracket now. Just a Shimano press fit bottom bracket. And there's no issues with it. It's super smooth, so we'll try and reuse it. Don't normally like pulling and reusing press fit, but we'll see how we get on. Using the BSC puller here that I normally use. It's a brilliant little tool, this is. Just hook it in behind there. And you just screw that up against the frame and then unscrew it. It literally just pulls it straight out. There you go, there's one half. And you can just pull the sleeve out now, it makes it a lot easier to get the other side out. I'll say I'd normally spin the whole bike around in the stand for you, but this bike is extremely challenging to get in this stand because of the size of the seat post. Only just fits. I'm gonna have to get one of them crossbar adapters that you can use for things like this, but to be fair, this is the first time in what, 4 years I've ever required one, so I'm going to grab one off AliExpress because they're 60 quid instead of £200 or £300 for the official sort of one. It looks identical. So I'll give that a go, get one on order. Probably didn't need to take both sides out, but it's just going to make life easier. So now we can just go fishing for these cables and pull this junction box down. There it is there. So I have tried pulling this up with a spoke from the top of the seat tube, but because it's an older Di2 system, it's also got a cable that goes to the shifters. It's not just the derailleurs, so there's no slack in there at all. You can see there's no way you're getting up to the seat post, and this hole here is what we've got to plug the new cable into. So you SRAM guys are going to be loving this, aren't you? Cables, what are they? To be fair, Shimano are getting there. Slowly but surely we're going to fully wireless. But yeah, this is one of the older systems where you've got junction boxes and all sorts in the frame. So, right, just get the new cable, attach that to the seat post, drop it down here, plug it in, bang it back together. So we've got a new cable here, 650mm, so that should be more than long enough. I ordered this yesterday from the video sponsor, sportandleisure.com. So sportandleisure.com have been supporting this channel, as you probably know now, for several months. Great company. And when you're in the middle of a job, the last thing you want is progress to come to a grinding halt because the part you ordered that said was in stock wasn't actually in stock. That's why I love Sport and Leisure. They're UK based, their stock levels are actually live. If the website says it's in stock, really is genuine in stock. Order before 3 PM and it ships the same day, free delivery on all orders. Next day delivery is only £2.50, what I did on here, so it's no brainer when you're trying to keep the job moving, really. They've also updated the discount code for the channel, so if you click the link sportandleisure.com/BCR or click the QR code on screen now, it will take you to a unique screen where it will automatically generate 10% off your first order. So if you're buying parts anyway, it's an easy saving. The link's down below. Thanks again to sportandleisure.com for their continued support on this channel. Let's get this cable fitted. So what I'll do is I'll just drop this, I'll just drop the bike off the seat post, clip the cable into there, thread it through the frame, clip it back on. Like I say, it's just a nightmare to clamp this. It's so big, literally at the limits of this jaw here. So drop it down, loosen this off. Seat post does come out very easily on this one. Take the clamp with you. And there's your seat post. Right, let's just get the bike out of the way. The new one's twice as long. This was a 300, I think it was. This 650, this new one. So these cable ties come on these longer cables from Shimano. They're not cable ties, they're special little clips, but it just stops the cable rattling around in the frame. So what we need to do is plug that into the bottom of the battery there. So we just plug this into the battery now. Make sure it clips in like that. And we just drop it down the seat tube. So I'm going to use a cable routing tool here just to make life a bit easier. And then it's more than long enough to drop down to the bottom bracket. Fish this end out and then we pull it straight through. So I've got the bike in a basic stand now, drop this through here and get it all the way through. Just use a magnet and I should just be able to pull this all the way through now fairly easily, hopefully. Like that. Right, I've got a plan B. So I've got this long piece of nylon that I use for other bits and pieces. I'm just going to very loosely tape it to there and then be able to shove that through. Right, so that's taped to there now, so I should very easily be able to get that through, hopefully. There's just a few braze-ons that are in the way, which is making it a little bit more challenging. Right, that's through there now. There you go, all the way through. So as soon as we lift that up now, the cable will come out the bottom. Right, so the plan now is to lift the bike up at the same time as pulling that through. There you go, the cable is out the bottom of the frame. Start to line this up now with the bike. So the customer's got no carbon paste or grease on here. Apparently it's always been like that. There's never been an issue. I think he only uses it on a turbo at the moment. But obviously I'm going to let him set the height because he's had it out when it arrived. And I advise him that it really should have some grease or carbon paste on there. I'll just nip this up now. It's 5.5 Newton meters. This is a preset part tool wrench, like that. Right, so now we can finally plug this in to the junction box. It should be. Like I say, if he ever needs to take it out for travel or whatnot, he's got loads of slack in there now. So, right, and that's clipped in there as well. Shove that back up where it was. There's no way to really attach that inside the frame. The critical bit now is when you refit the bottom bracket, make sure you put this sleeve in here, otherwise the cables are going to rest on the axle as it rotates and cut the cable in half, which wouldn't be ideal. Just get this pressed back in now. So carbon frame, plastic cups, we're just putting this in dry. Again, another BSC tool. This is obviously the bottom bracket press. Right, so just drop this through now and make sure obviously you're clear of the cables. I can see everything in there very easily. And that's not going to interfere with the cable when that goes back in. A bit difficult when you've got a full disc wheel in the way. I can't see what I'm doing on the other side. That's going in nicely. Once it stops, that's done. Don't keep winding it. And just check that centre plastic sleeve is still where it should be, because sometimes they have a habit of dropping down at the last minute and kinking over, which is a bit of a pain in the arse, to say the least. That looks good. It's another BSC tool, actually. So make sure that hole is clear there. Sometimes, like I say, when you press that in, the plastic sleeve goes off centre, drops down and puts a massive kink in it. Which is a bit of a pain in the arse, but that one's gone in nicely. And we just put the cranks back in, make sure the gears work. I keep getting told off for putting grease on this shaft and not in the hole. So we'll do it this way this time. Drop this through the other side, sorry you can't see, but there's kind of a massive wheel in the way. That's basically through there, push that through, drop that little spacer on that was there, and then the left hand crank. Like so. Just wind this preloader back in. Tiny bit more. Right, drop that safety clip back in there now. Taut these up to 12 to 15 Newton meters. I'll take this grease off first before it triggers somebody. Nip these up evenly. I think I might have mentioned that once or twice. If you just screw this in all the way and not do this one, you've basically knackered your crank. Take your time, do it super evenly. Again, evenly on the torque wrench as well. Good. Just give this a final wipe down now. This is a matte finish frame, so it'll look a bit crazy till it dries. Then we just spin it around in the stand and we'll just check these gears over. When I turned around, I've got a workshop pedal on there now. Just make sure these gears are doing what they should. And that's front derailleur. Beautiful. Very nice. All good. So that's this one done. So we've got one bite left to do. The crash one. Let's have a look at that. So last up is this diverge. It's been in an accident. Somebody opened a car door in front of the rider. I think the rider came off far worse than the bike by the looks of it. He's got a real nasty bruise on his arm. Derailleur hanger's certainly bent. We'll clean the rest of the bike up and make sure there's nothing else nasty hidden under all the mud that's on there at the moment. But I know for a fact this is properly bent, so let's have a look at that first. So if we shift this up now, it's pretty much straight into the spokes, so just be careful. Not even halfway up the block yet and that's already catching the spokes, so this is properly bent. I've got a new one, but what I'm also going to do is I'm going to straighten this one up here, remove it and then give it to the customer as a spare. He can keep it in his saddlebag in case he gets stranded somewhere with a bent hanger. At least he's got something that will get him home then, but we are putting a new one on as well. Let's just drop it down there. Hideous double tap on it, oh my god, I hate double tap. Right, let's get this derailleur off and get this straightened up. Wow, I hate double tap so badly. I don't know how people can use it. I guess you get used to it, but not for me. Alright, drop that off. And we're just going to get the hanger alignment. Check that out. This just screws in here. So you don't need to do this, but if it's at all savable, I do like to give it back to the customer as a emergency spare part. Like I say, it'll definitely get him home if he has an issue. Right, let's get this up to the top of the wheel. We know this is absolutely miles out anyway. Probably off the gauge at the moment, it's that bad. Yeah, I've not got enough adjustment on here to actually get that to the wheel, so we're going to give it a very basic adjustment first. Like that. And then that should be somewhere close. Let's touch in there now. Put that on there, drop it down to the bottom. That ring there should be about between 0 and 3 millimeters away once it's aligned. So it's currently about 2 inches away, so we just need to pull this out basically to give that some alignment. Like that. Reset that to the bottom, spin it up to the top and just keep going until we're where we want to be. Right, that's nowhere near there. We've still got a lot more to go out yet, so down to the bottom. Give it another one. Right, that'll move quite a bit there. Back up to the top. That's not bad at all now. You can see there that's pretty much touching there. So we do need to check it left to right as well now. Just check it against one side of the wheel. And again, this is miles out. The old derailleur needs to come this way a little bit more, the hanger. A bit more. Right, so they're touching on 3 points now, and that's sort of within 3mm. Okay, again, this is only going to be for an emergency hanger, just to put in his saddlebag, just to get him home if he needs it. He said he would get it home and put a new one on. That'll work for now. Let's put a derailleur back in, and this should shift, hopefully, pretty well. Well, as well as double tap can shift. Did I mention I'm not a fan? Alright. It's all coming off anyway to put the new hanger on shortly. Just show you what we need to do anyway. There's a bit of a war wound on this derailleur, but that should be fine. Let's see how we're going now. It's gone down to there and it didn't do that before. See, that's double tap. That's me trying to go up. And, no, it won't go up to the top. It feels like a limit screw issue, but it shouldn't really need adjusting. But let's just check it out because they're only there. Because it's nowhere near getting up to this top sprocket here, and we know we are aligned. So it's this screw here. You can feel it. If you're not sure which one it is, because this is not marked high or low, don't automatically presume that that one is this one and that one is this one, because it's quite often the other way around like this one. But if you screw it in gently, you can feel that's hard stopped onto there, because it's actually against a physical stop on the derailleur. If I was to screw this one in, it would move very easily because it's not on the stop. So we need to unscrew this a couple of turns. I can see that derailleur already pulling up there. Let's try that again. Move it up. Still nowhere near, but if you push it with your hand, that'll let you know if it's an issue with that or still the stop. Oh, we're still on the stop there. I don't see why it would be so far out. Right, I'm going up there now. Again, push it with your thumb to make sure you can't really push that so hard. That won't go into the spokes, so that's okay. Right. So in theory we should just drop the new hanger on there and that should work straight away. So we'll do that now. Drop it down to the smallest sprocket, lock your cage out and take the axle out. I'm going to give it a clean while there's no wheels on it. So it's covered in mud after the accident. And then inspect for any nastiness, but I think it's okay. I think literally the derailleur took the majority of the hit and his arm, so we'll give it a good clean and inspection. Still got my hat on, it's still freezing. Or for a heated workshop. Well, I've got one of those diesel heaters, but to be honest, I fitted it once and then took it off for some reason, I can't remember why. But I'll probably get around to refitting that at some point, because they are pretty good. Let's get this hanger off. So again, just spin this derailleur straight off again. It's just a 4mm bolt in here. Just take that out. There's the bolt. I say, straight as an emergency one that's going to get you out of doo-doo. Just stick it in your saddlebag. Or you could just buy another brand new one and keep it in any bag. It's always a good idea to keep one with you if you've got one. Like I say, it does fit a lot of other specialised models as well, so if you're in a group ride, it might help somebody else out if you've got this with you. But yeah, good spare to keep. Well, I'm just going to take it to the bike wash and give it a quick blast, and then put the hanger on. Beautiful. So I'm going to get a really good clean and polish inside out, upside down. There's no damage whatsoever, not a single mark on it. The bike looks literally brand new. The only issue is the derailleur and a tiny scuff on the saddle there. That's literally it. The rest of it is immaculate, not a single mark on it. So yeah, let's get it back together. All right, let's just drop this in. Make sure you got locked tight on that bolt. And that's that. Just going to put the axle in to make sure it goes in straight there. Like that. Get your derailleur back on, obviously. Not very far without that. Like I say, in theory this should shift exactly as it did, but we might need to make a tweak. I have checked the wheels in the jig as well, and they're both super straight, so there's no issues there. Go off lightly. Tighten that up. Put that back on. Chains fell off. Right, let's see how these go now. Perfect. Check that. Perfect. Happy days. You can't have a workshop day without a puncture, can you? Let's get this sorted out as well. One flat tube. Golden rule. Make sure you check the inside of the tyre. Found it straight away. Massive thorn there. That'll do it. Get that out. Patch her up. All the golden rule of punctures is never presume that's the only one. How many times have you done that? Some people say you can put like cotton ball balls on the inside of this, but to be honest, I'll just prefer to slash my fingers to pieces, it's fine. I'm pretty confident that's all it is. I'll just bang a patch on there and we're done. If it is just a little hole like that, I normally just patch it up. There's no point putting a new tube in for one tiny little hole. Put a load of air in it and just run it across your face, you'll find it straight away. There it is. Mark it up so you don't lose it and get a stick of patch on it. Bit of sandpaper, just scuff it up so it's got something to stick to. Well, if I'm not teaching you all to suck eggs here, but you'd be amazed how many people don't know how to do this. A little bit of adhesive on there, rub it around my finger. You only need a very thin coating. Get your patch ready while that dries. I always use these tip top, just a basic puncture repair patch. You don't need a massive one either, just a little one like this. Just let that evaporate off. It needs to be basically dry. And when you got that, just stick your patch on. Squeeze it on with your thumb. Job done. No real need to peel this off. I tend to leave it on, otherwise it tends to stick to the inside of the tyre. If you ever pull it out, you're potentially going to bit the patch off. I'll just leave that on. I'm sure other people have got opinions, but trust me, I've been doing this 35 years. I must have fixed probably 35,000 punctures. So I've never had one go down yet. Confident it's fixed. Just get it back in the wheel. Put some air in it, get it back in. Might be a bit too much air in there, but we'll see. Bang that back up. Dust cap, not essential obviously, but I like to put them on. Drop that back in. Job done. That's in. Puncture fixed. You might have used these self-adhesive patches, basically just stick it on the hole. To be honest, I've never had that much success with them. I just prefer to do it the old-fashioned way. I hope you enjoyed that. It's something slightly different. I've not done it before. I hope you learned a few bits and pieces along the way. I thought I'd give you an insight really to the sort of average day in the workshop. You never know what's coming through the door. Every job's different, as you see there, really. If you did enjoy it, let me know. I'm quite happy to do some more of these. It's quite good fun, actually. Nice and easy to edit, so pretty quick to make as well. So if you did enjoy it, let me know, as I say. And if you're not already done so, if you did enjoy the content, please consider hitting that subscribe button. You wouldn't believe how much it helps me out. I've got a massive target of 100,000 subs to get. I've got a long way to go yet, so please. Anyway, thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.